cool. I wanted to make this video, like, I think this happened to me like 2 months ago, but I've been so busy with the coding boot camp, which I just finished, by the way. It's about time I finally tell this story because it was something that is gonna stick with me for the rest of my life. And I know maybe it seems like I'm in a cheery mood right now, and that's partly just because there's been so much time since this event happened that I'm at a point now where I'm kind of looking back like, wow, that was crazy. But at the time, I was seriously shook. Okay, but anyways, let's get into the story. I'm about, let's say, a month into my coding boot camp. This coding boot camp I was doing Monday through Saturday, 12 hours plus per day, work on the weekends. Like, it was just non-stop coding. I was barely eating. I would eat on the subway, standing up on my way home. Yeah, it was intense, but it's all over now. I digress. But I always look forward to Friday nights because I'd ride my bike to Dundas Square. There's this place called Blaze Pizza there, and I would always grab a pizza, and I'd really look forward to that. By the way, Blaze Pizza, amazing, highly recommended. But it was a little thing I did just to kind of blow off some steam and just put my feet up on a Friday night. Mind you, this is probably around 10:30 when this is going down. But anyways, I'm on my bike, and it's a beautiful fall night, like one of those nights, there's people buzzing, the city's alive, you know, it is Friday night after all. On a normal night, I would get on the subway at Yonge and Dundas and I would take it north. And for whatever reason, I just decided to ride north on Yonge. I thought it's a nice night, like let's stay out, let's enjoy this night for what it is. So that's what I did. I rode up a few blocks, and when the crowd started to, you know, die out, so I hop on a Rosedale. Now I'm back on track. This is like my route I do all the time. I get off at Davisville, carry my bike up the escalator like normal. On my way there, I would take my bike all the way to the city, and then on the way home, I would take the subway like up to my stop and then ride the rest of the way, which is like 10 minutes or so. Yeah, it's all uphill, that's why but anyways, let's keep going to the story. So I get off at Davisville and I start heading home. This part of the journey is when I get off major streets and I'm on side streets. So I cross over a major intersection and I'm back on a side street again, and I pass a park and I hear a woman yell out, I have my AirPods on. They're not super loud, so I can hear things, like, you know, safety first. But I wasn't really sure, because that's not the kind of thing you hear at like 11:20 at night, right? So I spin around on my bike and I go back to the park and I yell from the street. I'm like, did you just yell for help? And she says, yeah, help. And you know, red flags are going up. I'm like, this is a park, it's dark, it's 11 something. I did note the time, it was 11:20. So I wasn't really sure, but I could I just felt comfortable approaching closer. It was wide open, so I could see I wasn't gonna get jumped from like the side or anything like that. As I got closer, I saw that there was a person beside her on the bench, and it was this guy, and he was like folded over on his seat. You know, I asked, like, what's going on? How long has he been like this? Is he drunk? What did he take? She says, I don't know, he's not breathing. And at this point, I'm a little worried that he's just gonna like pop up and grab me or something like that. But you know, I did have my guard up. I did notice that she was on the phone. I asked her who she was talking to. She said his loved ones, which I thought was strange. Kind of got close to him and got down because he was like bent over on the bench, like completely folded over. So I just kind of knelt next to him and like kind of pushed him a little bit, just kind of like patted him, tried to like wake him up. Said to him, yo, wake up, buddy. What's going on, man? Wake up. And he wasn't moving. So I told the girl, I'm like, you need to call 911 right now. And that was kind of a strange moment. Like, that's when it went off for me. I'm like, yo, this is a real situation. This is it. I don't know what to do, but this is real. Something's happening here. For some reason, I called 911 too. I just didn't really trust that this girl could handle that task because she seemed kind of flustered. I walked around the bench, I grabbed him by kind of like his collar area and I pulled him up. So I'm behind the bench and I pull him up and he just like goes up, and I put my hand like around his neck area to check for a pulse. You know, I don't really know what I'm doing. I've never done this before. I couldn't feel anything. At this point, I am on the phone with 911 and I'm telling the operator like what's going on. I was riding by, I saw this girl, and I remember asking them like, was there anything I can do? Like, what can I do? He's not breathing, I don't feel a pulse. And she said to me like, well, I'm not really trained in first aid, sir, sorry. And I thought that was kind of like, what? How are 911 people not trained in just like basic, I don't know, I don't know, just something. Like, help me, like, help this guy, basically. But, I mean, that's another story. You know, so I wasn't really sure if I was feeling anything, so I decided to kind of pull him off the bench and onto the ground, and I started giving him chest compressions. I could see that he vomited, so there was puke all down his chest, but when I pushed down, he went, and all this vomit and mucus and all this, like, nasty stuff came out of his mouth, and I rolled him over kind of, and it all dripped out. I wasn't about to give this guy mouth to mouth. I wasn't convinced that it would help, and I wasn't convinced that I really knew what I was doing. And let's be real, that's disgusting. I don't know this guy, I don't know his health history. Like, there's just, I don't know. I'll stick with the chest compression. So yeah, I could see there's a lot of fluid, so I keep rolling him over, kind of dumping some out, rolling him back, and I keep going. I kind of think this guy's dead. You know, I'm pretty sure he's dead. He seemed like his lips were kind of blue, but I didn't know. Like, who am I to say, okay, he's dead, like, case closed, lady. You know, so I did keep going for her. You know, at some point I did get transferred over to one of the guys, the paramedics who were in the ambulance. You know, I was just kind of saying to them, like, guys, I think this guy's dead. I'm not really sure though. So they did pull up, and I've never seen two guys get out of a van more gingerly in my life. They just completely sauntered out, walked around, you know, opened the back doors, pulled out the stretcher. I was like thinking to myself, guys, there's this person, he needs help right now. But who am I to tell these guys how to do their jobs? I mean, they're the professionals, and that's fair. So I didn't say anything. I was just, watching at this point. They cut off his clothes right away, and they got him hooked up to the defibrillator. It seemed like almost instantly a fire truck pulled up, but it seemed like they kind of took over in a way. It was really interesting watching this all unfold, the hierarchy and, you know, who's the commanding officer in these types of situations. I had a front row seat for this. I didn't really hop on my bike and ride home. I mean, this is pretty interesting. I'm gonna stay and watch this go down. Is that wrong? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. So the firefighters, they kind of like start working with the paramedics, and then another car pulls up, and this guy was, you could tell he was the boss man. He was like the chief paramedic. He was definitely in charge, and it was really, really cool to see him kind of take control of the situation and start pointing guys in different directions. One of the firefighters set up like a huge spotlight over the area. Yeah, they're just going to town on this guy, giving him the chest compressions. They have him hooked up to all these machines, pumping, and I swear this guy's chest was like completely collapsed. It was wild. It was wild. I remember just looking around, neighbors come out of the woodworks. You know, I was watching this human being take their last breath or die, or I don't even know what was happening. And the girl was crying. You know, it was really sad. It was really sad to see. Like, I experienced every emotion. You know, it was a really humbling experience. They were asking her questions like, did he take anything? Like, is he drunk? Is he high? And she wasn't, I could tell she wasn't telling them the truth. And I was getting so frustrated. Lady, just tell them the truth. You're gonna make their job easier, and they're not gonna have to do as much guessing to figure out what's wrong with this guy. At some point, the kid's father shows up, and you know, it was just heartbreaking to see him embrace the girl, which I'm pretty sure was his girlfriend. And he just, you know, he was walking around. He was like a well-dressed dude, you know, he had a blazer on, a dress shirt, you know, some nice jeans. They seemed like normal people, you know, but it was really, really tough to watch that. But at some point, I remember hearing the chief paramedic say, like, guys, he's gone, he's dead. And they kept going for a few minutes, and, you know, I'm just watching this whole thing like, wow, I did not expect for this to happen tonight. They put a sheet over the guy and kind of lifted him onto the stretcher and carted him away. You know, then the ambulance pulled off, the fire truck pulled off. That was it. And I was left standing there like, what just happened? No one spoke to me, nothing. I just remember watching the firefighters clean up all the, you know, the paper from the bandages and I don't know, all the stuff they used to try to resuscitate this guy. But yeah, that was it. I picked up my bike. A couple neighbors came over to speak to me, asking me what happened. I told them the whole story, like I'm telling you guys, and that was it. I hopped on my bike and rode home. But it was really strange not getting like any closure on this, not knowing the person's name, not knowing who the girl was, what the dad's name was, like how he died, nothing. I know nothing. I knew nothing. Right there on the bench behind me is where everything happened. I was riding by, I guess it's almost a week now. I've been looking in this park ever since, you know. It was kind of surreal. The following Monday, I rode by and there were some people here just playing like lawn bowling or whatever you call this game. And they had no idea, you know, that somebody died right over there only a few nights before. And when I passed here tonight, I saw that some people put some flowers there in memory. So I did get his name. I'm not gonna say like who it is, you know, in case someone stumbles across this video who knows this person. But he seemed like a nice guy, and I did try to track him online and see who it was, what kind of guy he was, and yeah, he had a lot of people who loved him, and he seemed like a solid dude. But I do, like, my personal hypothesis, just going off of what the firefighters were saying, the paramedics, is that it was a fentanyl overdose. And I know that's a super common thing that's happening right now in Toronto. Yeah, I mean, just be careful, folks. Be careful, because yeah, life is precious, and cherish it. You know, I don't want to make this, you know, too emotional, this video, but that was a story. I've been wanting to share that for a while. Be thankful for breathing. Be thankful for waking up each day, and be thankful for everything in your life, because you just never know when it could all go away. Yeah. Until next time, folks, I'll see you later. Peace.